Hello and welcome to another Infinity Talks Yanks. I'm your host, Vincent LaRose, and today we had another Yankees hot stove with Jack Curry. And if anybody watched it or if you got the highlights or the updates from it, it's pretty disappointing. Of course. Before I even really get into all the announcements, all the rumors, and all that going on with the Yankees, just know you take this with a grain of salt. Anything Jack Curry says could be wrong. It's not like he's actually works in the Yankees front office. He just gets tips and insides. And over the past couple of years, he's kind of gone overboard with who the Yankees are going to get. So it's very possible he could just be underwhelming what the Yankees are truly doing in the front office. But I think with all the time that has gone past, no additions. I mean, the Yankees haven't had a single addition yet to the last year's team. Only addition by subtraction, I would say, getting rid of a lot of relievers who were quite bad for the Yankees last year. But outside of that, man, there's just been nothing going on with the Yankees. So it almost seems real. But there was a ton of stuff to talk about. We're gonna get into it now. So first and foremost, I will say this: it seems like the Yankees and the Tetsuya Imai dream is just completely gone. It's completely out of touch. It's not gonna happen. Jack Curry said today that the Yankees and Tetsuya Imai is non-existent. They're not even in talks. I don't believe they've talked very much to begin with. It doesn't seem very likely. It's almost like basically 99% not gonna happen. He then followed up that with the Yankees, if they do add a starting pitcher, are going to go by that through trading. So Freddie Peralta is obviously, I think they're probably number one target when trading for a starting pitcher. So that's that. Obviously that's disappointing because you want to see a young star coming over from the MVP back in a team other than the Dodgers. So, and he just expressed his hatred for the Dodgers. Well, not hatred, but want to beat them, be able to strip a title away from them in the sense of beat them in a World Series or beat them in a big playoff game, whatever the sense is. The guy is easily and obviously a competitor, and you can just tell. And coming over from Japan, he has really, really good stuff. So I really thought the Yankees would pursue him more than they have in the past. I know they're a little skeptical in a lot of stuff. They got burned by Yamamoto. Obviously, they got burned by Soto last year. So I just see it as a GM problem at this point. I mean, not to hate on Brian Cashman, but kind of hating on Brian Cashman, man. He's won one World Series for the Yankees, and that core of that team wasn't even built by him. It was built by Gene Michaels. So I don't really see. I give Gene Michaels not more credit than Cashman for 09, but you definitely have to understand that Cashman didn't build that complete 09 team, and George was still alive. George didn't care how much money was spent. He wanted to see a World Series before he died. So, and of course that happened. But since Hal's taken over, the Yankees have done nothing but lose in the World Series to the Dodgers in an absolutely embarrassing fashion. We've seen questionable contracts, and yes, Hal has spent a ton of money, but at the end of the day, you trust your GM to spend the money in the right way, and the truth is Brian Cashman hasn't done that. To me, it almost seems like Cashman has been trying to be like a Gene Michaels, where he's trying to build the team more from a farm system standpoint than anything, holding on to a lot of these top prospects for such a long time. I mean, there's so many trades that could have been possible. I mean, the Yankees said no to an Emmanuel. Obviously, Emmanuel Clase isn't in the game anymore. But a couple years back, before Emmanuel Clase started to go crazy, sorry about my hat, I didn't even realize it was kind of sideways. But before all that happened, they said no to a Clint Frazier Emmanuel Clase trade that would have given the Yankees another absolutely disgusting arm in the bullpen, and could have been a piece that led us to a World Series, because Clint Frazier didn't do shit for the Yankees. I mean, the hype on Deivi Garcia, Estevan Florial, Peraza, there's just a whole list. Tyler Austin, there's a whole list of names you can go down that essentially Cashman and the Yankee scouting program hyped up really well, never traded. They were terrible for the Yankees, eventually either traded for nearly nothing or released or just never played baseball again. So it just makes, I mean, we see constant and consistent problems, and that's why I'm a little worried about Spencer Jones, because the Yankees are so good. I know he has good numbers, don't get me wrong, he has super good numbers, but I feel like like for some reason the Yankees are just cursed in that factor. Or like Judge wasn't a top prospect, Schlittler wasn't a top prospect, Heel wasn't a top prospect. Obviously, Judge was the number 2 prospect, of course, but I'm talking about like a number 1 sense. So it's all a strange scenario to me. It's all very strange. But besides the starting pitching, Jack Curry also gave us some updates on the Cody Bellinger, essentially contract negotiation scenario. It's all super weird. I mean, we got reports that Cody Bellinger and Scott Boras were going around asking for 8 years, $400 million, which is absolutely absurd. These guys are on something that I'm sure a lot of people would like to get on, because 8 years, $400 million for a guy who hasn't had 2 consistent years since 2018-19 is ridiculous. I can't even say the word I actually want to use to explain how insane an ask for like that is. And then they, it came down to reality, but at that point they didn't even really come down to reality. They wanted 7 years. No team wanted to give them 7 years, so they came away from that. All right, let's try 6. And they're negotiating with teams with 6 right now. And I can tell you this, I can guarantee this: the Yankees aren't giving him more than 5. It's not happening. I don't think the Yankees really want to pay him that much money to begin with. But the Yankees, what Jack Curry said today was the Yankees aren't optimistic or pessimistic about this scenario. They think it's very possible that Bellinger can return. It's also, they know it's very possible he could not. My worry more is, do they actually have a legit backup plan other than just rolling Dominguez and a rookie out there every single day in left field? Especially with the injury history the Yankees have had, they're going to need another outfielder. I know you can throw Caballero or Cabrera in the outfield in the corners if you really needed to, but that is obviously not an ideal situation. I would like to get another elite defensive outfielder if we could. We know how good Grisham is out there. We know how good Judge is out there, but we've seen how bad Dominguez is. We haven't really seen much of Spencer Jones, and then Caballero and Cabrera are career infielders. They only got thrown in the outfield because they're fast and athletic. They can play good defense, but they're not going to be elite defense like you may need. So I would that's a whole scenario. So, and then the scenario going on with the Bellinger is kind of holding them up from everything, so it's almost impossible that the Yankees are going to pick up Tucker. I just don't see that happening. Although a couple weeks ago we heard rumors that the Yankees were still interested in Tucker. It's a whole rumor mill. It's a whole thing going around. It's all very confusing, very annoying at the end of the day, because as a fan you just want things to get done. Every single team, I know the Rays got off a lot of guys, but they got a couple good prospects in return, so I wouldn't expect them to be good this year, but in years to come. But the Red Sox got better, the Blue Jays got better, and the Orioles got better. So the team that already beat you got better. The team that almost beat you in the playoffs after you had an embarrassing first game loss in the wild card, and you had to have a rookie go out on the mound and completely save your ass, they almost beat you. They got better. And then on top of that, the Orioles, who honestly, in my opinion, just kind of had a fluke year last year, they got better because they had a ton of injuries, but they got better. So every single team you're going to be competing with, I'm not going to lie, if the Yankees were a 4th place team, by the end of this year, if this is the team they roll with, it wouldn't surprise me not one bit. I don't think it would surprise almost any of us. I think the Blue Jays and the Red Sox right now, I would put the Orioles about the same level just because of how bad it was last year. You have to kind of watch them and see if they've, found it again. But right now, the Blue Jays and the Red Sox are better than the Yankees. If you think otherwise, you have to realize this. Yes, you have Cole and Rodon in the rotation, but Rodon is going to miss the first, a month and a week. Cole's going to miss probably close to 3 months of the season. And then you're rolling rookies out there. Your bullpen is really not that great. Your offense is good, but you're so left-handed that any elite left-handed pitcher, or any good left-handed pitcher, is going to completely deflate that offense. And then you lost one of your best bats last year, and you're replacing him with a top prospect, or once top prospect who hasn't really proven himself in the MLB yet, or you're replacing him with a guy that hasn't played a single game in the MLB. Look, Spencer Jones could be great, don't get me wrong, but it's another big bat lefty that only hits home runs and strikes out a ton. The Yankees don't need any more of that. And replacing him with Bellinger just puts us in an even worse spot than we were last year. I don't see how the Yankees see any of that. And it's so confusing because as of now, their projected payroll after arbitration is still at about $283 million. Why not just trade off these guys? Why not get off of Jazz and get prospects back? Get off his arbitration money. Get off of McMahon. You're going to have to eat some of that contract. It doesn't make any sense to me. Either spend the money or don't sit in purgatory right in the middle to where there's a couple teams in baseball that are better than you, but you're still spending so much money. Years to come, you can't make better additions. It makes no sense. But who knows, man? At the end of the day, there's still 2 months left of the offseason. It could be crazy. Like, usually January is dead. January is probably going to be super, super busy this year. A lot of guys don't like negotiating around this time of the year. It's family time, with Christmas, the holidays, New Year coming up. So I would start seeing, I guess you would expect to start seeing a lot of guys signing in early January. But at some point, man, something's got to give. I know there's, this kind of tension a little bit with free agents right now because I think even the owners and the Players Association knows more than likely 2027 will be locked out for a good amount of time. And owners and players are a little nervous about that, so they're trying to make sure they're getting their money. And at the end of the day, they're entertainers and they bring in a ton of money, so they deserve the ton of money. But it's all just such a weird scenario. I mean, everything that was on Brian Cashman's wish list for the Yankees, he hasn't done a single thing yet. Not a single thing. All we've done is bring back Yarbrough, bring back Blackburn, bring back Grisham. It's, oh my God, it's just so obvious. And, I guess you could be like, well, we have Cabrera for the whole year. We're expecting Stanton for a bigger portion of the season than we were last year, but these are guys that consistently get hurt, and the Yankees have such a rich injury history. I don't get why you're even rolling the dice on any of this. The Dodgers proved it with the starting pitching. You can never, ever, ever have enough. The Dodgers had like 10 starters going into the year last year, and they still had to pull up guys from their minor league system to start in the playoffs. They threw huge innings in the playoffs because so many guys got hurt. It's going to happen. Just go out and get starters. Add another 2 guys to the bullpen. Get Bellinger back. Add another piece in somewhere like that. Another bench piece. But, oh yeah, and we got Rosario back as well. But it's just so confusing. Then they're talking about throwing Rosario, teaching him how to play first base. So on days you don't want McMahon, then you could throw Cabrera at third, Caballero at second, and Rosario at first. But like, Cabrera has played first, so why wouldn't you just have Cabrera play first? Like, it makes no sense to me. They forget Oswaldo Cabrera exists. Oswaldo Cabrera was good last year before he broke his ankle. Why wouldn't you throw the guy who's actually had major league experience at first base to cover for Ben Rice when there's a tough lefty on that? Why? That doesn't... Oh my God. I guess it's because you trust Cabrera's defense at third better than Rosario's defense at third. But either way, neither one of them... yes, I think Cabrera's definitely a better third baseman. I think Cabrera's a better all-around defender anyways. But Rosario's never played first. Just throw Rosario first. Keep Cabrera practicing at first like he's done. Oh my God. It's just some of this stuff is... all the stuff that's coming out is so confusing. It's like the Yankees don't really know what they want to do or don't really have an idea. They're just throwing ideas out there because they are not signing anybody. Trades have been a complete dead end for them. It's... oh my God. It's... I don't know. I have not seen... I'm only 21 years old, but I haven't seen a Yankees offseason like this ever. Not once. I think I consistently started following in 16, so if there was something before that I'm not, recognizing or whatever, feel free to let me know down in the comments or something like that. But I don't think we've ever seen some kind of offseason like this where the owner comes out complaining about payroll, but then goes, well, 319, to think we're going to stay under 319 is ridiculous. Then it comes out, well, they're trying really hard to lower payroll. Like, what is it? What is it? Oh, we want Bellinger back, but now we're only going to have him on our terms. We're not going to agree to any terms with Boris. Blah, blah, blah. Oh my God. I was like, this is the most bipolar offseason I feel like the Yankees ever had. And it's really, really tough because we don't get actual insight from Cashman. And when we do, nearly everything he said has not happened yet. Oh, we need this, we need that. I know this team's like this. I know this team needs that. And we've done nothing but re-sign Paul Blackburn, Ahmed Rosario, Ryan Yarbrough, Grisham back on a completely awful qualifying offer. Oh my God, it's hard to watch. It's really hard to watch, and I think Hot Stove really, for a lot of fans, they just really put them out of it because they're sitting there, they're watching, and they're like, wow, the Yankees really are about to go through this offseason and do absolutely nothing. I mean, to this point, the Pirates have added more than the Yankees have. Obviously, the Pirates are the better team, but like, bro, come on. Something has got to get done, and it's very aggravating. But besides that, we'll move on. So the last topic I'm going to talk about is the bullpen. So it was said that, again, I think I said it earlier, it's more likely than not the Yankees are going to add bullpen. Essentially, they're more likely to improve the bullpen than improve other fields of that team. So they're going to, I guess that means they're focusing on bullpen improvement. That's how I interpreted that. It's very interesting because bullpen stuff is like, you can have a guy come out the minors and just be elite and nobody's really ever heard of him. You can trade for some random guy and you can just make something work with him. So the bullpen, I feel like, would be like one of the things where I'm like, all right, I'm not super worried because you can always just release a guy. Like, those guys don't get paid, they get paid a good amount of money, but sorry, they get paid a good amount of money, but you can just release them, trade them, get a different guy, pick a different guy up that was DFA'd or something like that, and turn him into something. Very weird. The bullpen, I feel like, is the most versatile position in baseball because you can have any guy, no matter what speed, no matter what build, no matter what size, and no matter what he throws, what he doesn't throw, they can be successful. It's just, sometimes it's just luck, you know what I mean? So I thought it was super strange. Like, that was like, oh yeah, the Yankees are definitely going to sit here and improve on that. Like one of the, like, a part of you's like, yeah, I hope so. Look at the bullpen. And then another part of you's like, the bullpen, though, like, you can make the bullpen work with a couple trades or picking up a free agent. Like, that should be like the last of their worries, to be completely honest. They can pick up bullpen guys a couple weeks before spring training starts, and those guys can make a huge difference. I mean, it's happened to the Yankees in the past, and it's gonna happen again. They're actually really good at that. You have a really good pitching coach. Why is that even a thought? Like, it's so confusing to me. I feel like it's all just dialogue to push the Yankees through this offseason. But like, at this point now, even if you re-sign Bellinger, we're just the exact same team you had last year. Again, you can make the argument, well, we have Schlittler for a full year. Cabrera's not hurt anymore. Stanton is expected to be back at the beginning of the season. You have multiple other examples of just guys that, Caballero's there for the full year. Duvall, Bird, Bednar, McMahon, maybe McMahon figures the offensive bat out. Look, I see the potential in the team. It's just when you put it on paper compared to probably like another 7 teams in baseball, they are not better than those 7 teams. I mean, I think the Red Sox are better. I think the Blue Jays are better. The Dodgers are better. There's a couple of, like, the Brewers, if they don't just trade everybody away, are probably better than the Yankees based off last year. But the Brewers, we all know what the Brewers do in the playoffs, so it kind of doesn't matter. Maybe not 7 teams, but this is just all off the top of my head, of course. But it's super weird and super strange to watch the Yankees go about this offseason the way they are doing it. It seems like they're trying to, like, I was like, either they're just simply just rolling over and dying and giving up, or they're trying to, like, play the craziest Uno reverse card on baseball and then just pick up, like, Tucker or something. Sorry, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. I have to be up early too for work. Shit. But pick up some crazy free agent, whatever it is. But I don't see that happening. I think the Yankees are just gonna grab a couple pieces right before the offseason's over and call that an offseason and see what they can do with that. They're gonna go, you can always trade before the trade deadline, blah blah blah, this and that. But that is where I'm gonna end it today. So if you're on the YouTube side, I appreciate you for watching. If you're on the podcast side, thank you for listening. Every one of you is much appreciated. I hope everybody has a wonderful day, morning, night, whatever time it is for you. And as always, go Yankees.